Thank you.
Thank you.
Move back to item 6, Naval Point, Te Nukutai or Tapoa Development Plan. Can I invite Councillor Turner to present this on behalf of the Banks Peninsula Community Board?
Thank you very much. So this was discussed, and much of the matters in this report were actually decided upon under delegation by the Community Board at the Community Board meeting. There's been a lot of work done by staff, and I would certainly acknowledge Christine Bowe and her team for the huge amount of work that's been done over quite a long period of time, working with a large number of stakeholders at Naval Point, including the Coast Guard, including the Naval Point Club, and a number of other stakeholders. There were a number of deputations to the Community Board meeting, and a number of matters raised in those deputations that were discussed at the Community Board, all in relation to the Naval Point Development Plan, and the decisions by the Community Board that you see in this report were made largely with the support of those stakeholders. We actually got to a position of consensus, where there certainly had been some contention around some of these issues in previous weeks and months. So certainly that was an achievement at that Community Board meeting, which was well received by the stakeholders. So the important thing to note is that the Community Board has got delegation for the approval of the Naval Point Development Plan. That approval and the authority to conclude the leases with partners is contained in the Part C resolutions in this report. So the substantive matter for Council to consider today, and in fact the only substantive matter for Council to consider as regards this report for Council to consider today, is matters relating to the closure of the Magazine Bay Marina. So these matters are detailed in paragraphs 5.15 to 5.22 of the report that's in front of us. The Magazine Bay Marina was constructed in the 1980s by the then Lyttelton Harbour Board, and there was a plan to create a more extensive marina to be protected by a floating breakwater, a continuous floating breakwater. That was initiated in the 1990s. So the breakwater protection was in the process of being strengthened when it, and in fact part of the marina, and a number of vessels that were moored in the marina at the time, were destroyed in a major storm in October 2000. So that resulted in damage to the floating breakwater, loss of part of the marina structure, and the loss of a number of vessels that were moored there. The marina remained in its damaged state. There were a number of proposals that were put forward but not progressed in the meantime. The marina remained in its damaged state. And then the next action was when Lyttelton Port Company in 2018 constructed the Taiana Marina, which has certainly worked and has been an additional asset both to the port and to the community and to the users of that marina. So that leaves us now in a position where, as part of the Naval Point Development Plan, there is a need to resolve issues pertaining to the Magazine Bay Marina. There are 7 remaining berth holders there, and there's detail in the resolution and in the report as to how the licences that they hold can be dealt with in order to bring those licences to an end, either naturally or under the terms of the licences or by negotiation. That then will allow the remains of the marina to be dealt with according to the provisions in the development plan, the proposals in the development plan, which is to retain a small part of the marina and essentially to tidy up the area so that it will have a use and a role as part of the overall naval development plan. But the key point for us today is that the development plan resolutions themselves have already been approved by the Community Board under delegation. The matter for us to deal with is just this matter relating to the Naval Point, the Magazine Bay Marina.
Thank you. Tim has a question.
Yeah, my understanding was that when we were looking at this, we were looking at a cut down version, because the complete version is actually about $27 million. So I was wondering how this will affect that.
The Magazine Bay Marina, we're only dealing with the Magazine Bay Marina.
Okay. Thank you.
The other matters are
It's
dealt with
just-
by way of delegation to the community board. Is that right?
Yep. I mean, I don't know whether there is an answer from staff as to the answer in relation to the question that Tim's asked. I mean, my understanding is that this is contained within the budget for the first phase of the Naval Point development.
That's correct.
My concern is that if we don't put a set of fees aside for pieces of this development, we won't have a view of how much we're actually spending on this project, these bits and pieces, because we've got the GP, so we get the sailing event, which we've got to have some of that area sorted for that. There are going to be pieces here. I thought we had agreed that we will do a cut down version of the overall plan to make it safe or whatever it was, but it just seems that we're doing bits and pieces. Where's the overall plan for the amount of money that we're spending? Bits and pieces.
I'm almost tempted to ask if we could take this matter offline because it's to do with the general project rather than the specific issue that we've been asked to approve, which is the closure of the Magazine Bay Marina once the existing licence expire or terminated in accordance with their licence terms and conditions. And I'm wondering whether we could just have that resolution resolved and then perhaps get an update, a briefing note from staff just as to an update around the overall project and the decision that the community board made. Would that work? I mean, people were here prepared to discuss questions around the closure of the Magazine Bay Marina. So would that be okay, Tim, if we did that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Andrew, you'd like to move
Yes,
it?
please.
Seconded by Pauline. Is there any debate? I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried.
No.
Thank you.
Your opposition is noted. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.